So, can you explain what exactly happened? How is it that the Supreme Court got involved? I understand that the state level Supreme Court in Wisconsin initially overturned the governor's order that was made on Monday.
Right. So there were two separate Supreme Court decisions on the eve of the election, one at the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And what they ruled was that the governor's order to stop the election the day before the election because of the public health crisis was unconstitutional, according to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. So they stopped the election from being postponed until June, which was what Governor Evers planned to do. In a separate ruling soon afterward, the US Supreme Court said that a plan to allow an extra week for absentee ballots to be mailed and counted was unconstitutional. The reason for that action by the state was that because of the flood of individual requests for absentee ballots, for obvious reasons, they couldn't keep up with the demand, and thousands of people still did not have an absentee ballot on the eve of the election. So obviously it would be impossible for many of them to have the ballot postmarked by election day if they didn't even have a ballot in their hands. The US Supreme Court struck down that action as well. And that's what caused the real fiasco in Green Bay and Milwaukee and many other cities, with people having no choice but to either sacrifice their vote or go join mobs of people and wait for hours, often in some horrendous weather, to exercise their right to vote.
So I understand that there were people who had initially requested, or weeks earlier had requested, absentee ballots that then waited and waited for those ballots to arrive and didn't get them. Is that true? And if so, how widespread a problem was this? And did that simply mean that a voter going in person would have been able to cast their ballot successfully?
Yes, so according to the state, there were at least 9,000 ballots that were not mailed out as of the day before Election Day. So at least that many people would not have received their ballot, probably significantly more. And that included Milwaukee city officials, even a woman who wouldn't have been able to vote for her own election for her race. So that created, the mobs of people, many who obviously would not be able to wait in line for hours, and certainly disenfranchised at least tens of thousands of people. The voting turnout in Milwaukee was about 1/10 of the normal number.
Wow. So I